Welcome to Clear Lake State Park. Clear Lake State Park is located about 9 miles north of Atlanta, Michigan, in the northern section of the Lower Peninsula. There are about 200 campsites here at the Clear Lake State Park campground. Most of them are 20 and 30 amp, although about 20 of the sites have now been upgraded and have 50 amp service. So look at the map when you're making a reservation. If you need more power, you might be able to find a spot here. Some of the sites seem kind of small, but like most state parks, there's a variety of sizes. And I've been pretty impressed with some people, the way they've been able to creatively maneuver their rigs into some of the spots that are a little bit nicer because they have more trees and a little more shade. And if you're careful, you can get a larger rig in, and you just have to pay attention if you have anything with slides, because you might find that your rig fits, but there's a tree where you want your slide to go. One of the things I have noticed on a number of spots is because of the terrain here, the ground is very sandy, and particularly yesterday when it was sort of raining off and on a little bit, a number of people, as they were trying to maneuver their rigs, had a little bit of an issue with sinking into the sand. And so that's something to keep in mind as well, and be careful with the terrain and the environment so you're not damaging anything while you're trying to set up. As you can see, there are these little black bugs. Probably you can see them. You can certainly see me swatting at them periodically. They're not mosquitoes. They're just little black gnat type things. They are really annoying, but if you have a little bit of a breeze, that tends to take care of them. If you're closer to the water where the wind is moving around a little bit more, that's not as bad. I could see at certain times of the year, though, where if the population of those things gets high, it's going to be an obnoxious time trying to keep the swatting going and keep them out of your face. While there isn't a lot of privacy between the campsites, they seem pretty nice because of the number of trees that are still here. As I mentioned earlier, you sometimes have to maneuver around them, but it's nice having the trees and just the feel that those give you when you are out camping, even in a state park. It appears that each campsite has its own power pole, so that's kind of nice. You're not sharing a pedestal with anybody. They are all located near the back of the sites. And I will note that the back of the sites is where you have the least amount of privacy, because while you have trees sometimes in between the sites, the back of each site is open to the one behind it. The bathroom facilities here are in pretty nice shape. There's a men's and ladies restroom in this building, and then 4 individual unisex shower stalls that you can go into and get cleaned up. And the water wasn't real hot, but it was enough to get clean with. Clear Lake State Park is located, not surprisingly, on Clear Lake. This lake is supposedly really good for fishing, and it's about 90 feet deep at its deepest. What's interesting about this lake is, well, some of it was formed from apparently an ice block that was left over from a glacier many years ago. The north end was created by a sinkhole because of the sediment and the rock formations in the area eventually collapsing and creating a big hole that then filled with water, and Clear Lake was created. The lake has a nice sandy beach. It's not real big, but I could see where it could be a fun place to play if you were a family in particular, because Clear Lake is also known for having a very shallow entryway. So you've got some really nice shallow water near the beach where the kids can play. And you don't have to worry too much about whether they can swim yet or getting them out too deep too quickly. Right near the beach and the lake is an area that has a volleyball net set up. There are some picnic tables and some grills, so you could kind of set up and hang out here for a while by the lake if you wanted to. But the lake itself and the beach is a really short walk from many of the campsites. So I would think that you would probably just use your own campsite and rig for having your picnic, and then head down here for fun without having to haul too much stuff back and forth from your camper. I've seen a number of people hauling in kayaks and canoes on their rigs, and those are also available for rent here, so you can go out and enjoy Clear Lake from one of those watercraft. While there are about 4 miles of hiking trails within the Clear Lake State Park, the bigger thing here for hiking and for ATV use is the trail system that is in the area on state land. As I understand it, there's about 70 miles of trails that you can reach from this park. So if you're really into hiking or mountain biking, there's plenty of places to explore. And this is a popular park for people to camp when they have ATVs to head out onto the trails. And the DNR does allow ATV use within the campground if you were going to and from the trail. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to haul them out on a trailer. They ask that you be respectful and not just use your ATVs to drive around the campground for supplies and things. But if you're just going in and out from the big ORV trail system, then you can go ahead and drive right to and from your campsite. And that's a real nice benefit to have. About 2 miles away from the campground, Clear Lake State Park also has a day use area. So if you're not staying at the campground, you can still enjoy Clear Lake. There's a beach here, there's picnic tables and grills, there's a boat launch. So if you don't have to go in where the campground is. So it's a really nice area to kind of hang out for a day and enjoy Clear Lake and enjoy the area, even if you're just here for the day and not staying over at the campground. As we have seen in several other state parks, there is a disc golf course here at Clear Lake State Park. You can get to it from the day use area. As state parks go, Clear Lake State Park is a little bit on the smaller side in terms of the state park proper. There's the campground and the beach and a little bit of a hiking trail inside the perimeter of the park. But it seems like what a big draw here is how close you are to a much larger trail system. Whether you are hiking, if you want to use ATVs, if you want to use snowmobiles, this campground is open year-round, at least parts of it are, and the mini cabins are as well. So if you are interested in trying out the trails in northern Michigan around the Atlanta area and north, this could be a really good base camp for you, regardless of what type of trail use you are interested in or what time of year it is.